Assalamu alaikum. We up in here. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. خصوصا خلفاء الراشدين المهديين من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يهد الله فلا هادي له نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Let's get with it. Oh, shoot. Drop it off on all of the platforms. All right. So, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Inshallah ta'ala. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Sister Yasmin. Inshallah ta'ala. I'm gonna dive straight in. This ain't for the weak stomachs. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. This is not for the weak stomachs. But we always inshallah ta'ala, y'all feel free to drop y'all comments. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe. Stay tuned in with us. Inshallah ta'ala, we're gonna keep this hot content coming, inshallah. As y'all know, we focus on Aqidah and fiqh on this platform, and then we have a little bit of fun on Saturday, on the weekends. Yeah, make sure y'all drop us a comment. Let me know what y'all think. I don't have any ladies as usual. They kind of all busy. The normal cast is kind of all busy. So y'all feel free to speak y'all piece in the comments. I'm gonna try to address as many as I can. But just remember, I'm telling y'all through the gate, I'm speaking from a man's perspective, and I'm just the messenger of the locker room. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So tonight's topic, and make sure y'all share this too. Get the conversation flowing, inshallah ta'ala, in the right direction. My brother, Jamil Hassan, I know you got some input. Give me some holler, man. Let me know what's going on. Hey, Jamil, keep control in the crowd, man. Keep control in the comments, man. That's my cyber security right there, Jamil Hassan. When I'm doing the show, that's my security right there. Ain't none of y'all jumping on this stage acting a fool. Alhamdulillah. So tonight we're gonna talk about the infamous conversation of the passport brothers. It's a lot of going back and forth on social media, as y'all know. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the conversations. Man, wow, my phone keep cutting off. What is wrong? I'm pretty sure y'all keep seeing uh the conversations going back and forth on social media and probably in your real life too. But first and foremost, we got to understand how we got to this point. We got to understand the we got to understand um, the dynamics of the situation. That's what we have to do first and foremost before we get into the arguments on both sides. And I'm gonna try to address both sides, but I'm mostly gonna speak from the male or the brother's perspective, because I'm a brother. Uh, I just mostly see ridicule of the sisters ridiculing brothers going overseas to get them a wife. But what? I'm gonna address it from that perspective, and I'm gonna be as fair. Oh, what's up with my guy? KID, what's going on? It's a local famous rapper, y'all. It's my guy, man. I'm a big fan of his though. So I appreciate you tuning in for a little bit. I know you're a busy guy, man. So just go back and watch the recordings a little bit. That's my guy. Strike. That's my guy. Strike. The strike lord right there. Alhamdulillah. But yeah. So brothers really, they feel a kind of way, and I'm gonna keep it all the way real. The brothers feel kind of way, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. And we're gonna get the conversation started. I'm gonna try to address, the comments from the sisters' perspective. And y'all already know I don't duck no smoke. So if you got a lot to say and you can't really type it that fast, or you typing 10 comments in a row, I send you the link. You come up here, speak your piece. I know y'all gonna have something to say. I'm just gonna speak from the brother's perspective, like I said. So first and foremost, let's try to understand. Um, let's try to understand how we got to this point of where brothers is going to get them a wife from overseas. Well, if you had something to say, you should you should have came on here. You better be able to handle the heat, Sister Nyla. She behind me. Let me stop before she throws something at me on on the camera. But first and foremost, we gotta understand that we ain't in the Salam Alaikum Sister Divine. That it always sounds good to say that. That's like the best Muslim female name, Sister Divine. Alhamdulillah. Like that's like a name that's like a name like for like a Muslim sister that's like known to help everybody. That's what that name says. Sister Divine. Alhamdulillah. Um, so first we gotta understand how we got to this point. Um, how we got to this point is first, let's just keep it short and sweet. African Americans come out of slavery. Slavery is our situation. That's that's how we, that's our existence. That's our reality. So with that being said, things are not the way that it should be for African Americans. We're not quote unquote equal in the social stratosphere. We're not equal. So we got things going. With that being said, we got things going on in our community that that isn't going on in the other communities. So first and foremost, understand that we marginalized to every extent of the definition. So understand that uh, you got to close the door. I was echoing real bad. I'm echoing real bad. Yeah, I mean you got to close the door. So we got to understand that it's an abnormal situation. We haven't like become this way because we just some genetically screwed people like the media and the world as a whole would like us and everybody else to believe. They want us to believe that it is our reason, it is on us that we are in the position that we are in, and we're not. Now, the only reason why African Americans have succeeded how they have thus far in the world is just because of our uncanny resiliency. Period. Period. No other people in the on the planet have been enslaved for 500 plus years, 500 plus, like ongoing, like happening right now, and and still be able to thrive within that system of slavery. We're falling short for sure. We don't have all the tools and resources, but we have done the best as far as making the best out of what we nobody has done it better than us to survive up until this point. So I said all that to say that I said all that to say that our social dynamics, or that's not the right word, our social economic dynamics have poured down on us um, uh, a reality that is just you can't imagine. And we all know everybody from the neighborhood, or everybody used to live in everybody's from the neighborhood, or they got somebody that family that's from the neighborhood. It ain't many of us that grow up affluent or grow up above the poverty line. Vast majority of us are in poverty or have come from poverty. Those are just statistics. We don't like it, but that's reality. So um, at that point in the conversation, we got to understand that we are literally fighting for scraps in our community. We're fighting over resources that are not there, and that brings the worst out of a human. Uh, our situation is like you just took a bunch of people and dumped us off on the island and just left us to survive. That's the reason why we're so vindictive to each other. We're negative to each other. We fight each other. We kill each other. We hate each other. We jealous of each other. It all boils down to of an absence. I'm not going to say a lack, an absence of resources. We don't even have a lack of resources. In order to lack something, you have to have it in the first place. We don't own anything. We don't own any resources. I don't care if you own a little bitty house or a big nice house. It's still non-existence in the totality of the argument. So we have an absence of resources. We migrate from within our country to other parts of the country to resources. Um, so we don't have the tools to succeed for the most part. So that has left us to turn on each other, both friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, husband and wife. We turn on each other in order to be successful in this survival of the fittest. That's what's going on. We're not animals. We're not savages. We're humans just put in a harsh situation. And we just doing the best that we possibly can in that situation. There's what's going on, man. I really seriously thought about shooting you the invite. Let me know if you want to jump up here. I know you got something to put on this particular conversation. So I see your comment too, Yasmin. I'm gonna get to them. I'm gonna close this first point out, and then I'm gonna try to get to these comments. I got a couple points I want to make though. I got a couple things I want to hit on. But since with that being said and that being understood, that is the reason why we are the way that we are. Now, that being said, um, that these this men are the strength of the community, and the women um they they depend on that strength. That's I'm talking about in the world. And with uh with the oppression from our historical oppressors, the attack uh that they waged on the men in our society has caused us to be unable to live up to the true idea of what a man is. So that I mean, I'm and just to sidebar that just a little bit, as far as what you call it, I mean, 1/3 of us are in the prison system or had been in the prison system. The vast majority of us are overworked and underpaid. The vast majority of men don't own homes. The vast majority of black men are not entrepreneurs, which means there's a lack of uh, jobs in the community. Next, that tells us that if there's a lack of jobs in the community, then that means there's a lot. I mean, there's a lack of employment in regards to men in the community. This is not all because the men are just sorry. It's not. Y'all really gotta understand that we have been up under attack since they brought us on Plymouth Rock, point blank and period. Like as a famous saying goes, "Salam alaikum, Sister Aziza." As the famous saying goes, I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. So men have been historically underperforming because of that. With that being said and understood, that has affected our women drastically. That has thrust, or not thrust, that has catapulted our women into dependency. I mean, not independent, independency or independence. That's not a word. Independency, independence. That's the default. That's the result of the historical oppression. Um, Men ain't sorry. We ain't just getting with women and dogging them or whatnot. Um, for the most part, we are morally savage. Men and women, our men and our women are morally savage for the most part. Because they ripped us away from our homeland, ripped us away from our people, and hit the reset button on our identity. We don't have an identity. Even to say that to call yourself an African American is not an identity. That's a description. That's not an identity. That's not the representation of a land, and that is not the representation of an independent people. So just the term alone, African American, is blank. It's blank. History and science has already showed us that every single human being on the planet came out of Africa at some point in time. So I'm as African American as George Bush is and as Trump is. All of their DNA goes back to Africa as well, just like mine's. Mine's a little bit closer than theirs is. Allah knows best, but first man, first woman came out of Africa. That's a fact. That's a scientific fact. So to say African American, I'm not an African American. I'm not African, and I'm barely American. So with that being understood, we haven't been raised up or come out of any type of true identity for us to live up to, for us to follow the code of that identity. Just like when just like I know everybody done to sidebar. I know everybody done had some conversations at work or wherever, and they meet somebody who's Irish, and they would say, "Oh well, I'm a little feisty, so I'm Irish." Or you might talk to somebody who's Italian and say, I don't take no stuff from nobody. I'm Italian. Everybody, that even our beautiful people, brothers and sisters, the Palestinians, they pride themselves with strength. When you meet a lot of the Palestinian brothers, they be like, I'm from Philistine, so they got a real, tough. They letting you know that their land and their people is known for something, and they live and die and slave for that identity. We don't have that. All we got is that we'll whoop yo, what, and we will shoot you. That's our identity. And we can cap, we comedians. But my point is that every peoples and lands they have an established identity. African Americans don't have that. So we don't have nothing that we living up to. That's why I say that we're morally savage. We just blank human beings running around out here. Why do you think we got the highest murder rate, the highest rate of teenage pregnancies, and 75% of our women are single women and not married, and we don't belong to no type of identity. We just out here, we're just living, we're just existing. That's pretty much what's going on. and that's that's the result of slavery. So bringing that point full circle, um, that attack on black men has caused us to drastically underperform to the standard. With those unfair set of circumstances, we're expected to perform efficiently. Like the whole game is rigged, and my rent is not based on the game being rigged. I'm underpaid, I'm undereducated, and when I walk through the door, 90% of employers are looking at me that way. So I'm not getting paid the amount of money I should get paid. I'm not getting the opportunities that I should get as an American and as an American man. So that's not translating into any type of money or wealth or status for the most part. So um when things get hard, we haven't been able to we haven't been able to we've been on because of that we've been underperforming and taking care of a woman and taking care of a kid or kids or whatnot. So that made our women become independent. Now, that was the first point. This is pushing us into the second point, opening up the conversation. That independence that women have been forced into has, man, we ain't got a lot of time to play no games, man. That'd have made y'all attitudes stank like I don't know what. This is the talk in the locker room. This is what the guys is talking about. Now, this is all relevant to going to get us a quote unquote man or a bride. So now I've grown to understand that the black woman has to be tough because she's been on her own since birth. Daddy went around, barely probably had brothers, but brothers probably used to beat her up. And on top of that, she see the brothers, and the brothers is chasing tail everywhere. She look any direction. The uncles, they doing the same thing. They chasing tail everywhere. Um, um, so in her adolescence, she has never really had protection. She might have, ain't nobody gonna let nobody jump on their sister, So guys will come and duke it out or whatever. But that moral protection, she kind of really never had that. So that injected her with her first dose of the spiritual disease of insecurity. It started way, way, way long ago. So that makes, just growing up like a young woman doesn't really conceive all of that, what's going on around them. They could just, how kids' brains aren't that developed. So they just react. And the knee jerk reaction to growing up in that set of circumstances is to is for women to want to fill that vacancy, to fill that void. And the first thing that the best way, and then it's always hard in the home. Mama ain't doing the best, and she just trying to make ends meet, and it's hard for her and the sisters and the brothers, and she doing it by herself. She ain't got time to focus on just you and give you that nurturing. Each kid that came one after another, there should be like a nice stage of nurturing. When they're babies, all the way to maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, and it's solid with the child. When you're dealing with multiple children, and then on top of that, blended families. The woman is being a mother to her biological children, and whatever man she dealing with, his biological children. So she kind of all over the place, and men is out doing whatever it is that they do to try to earn some money. So she all over the place. So that insecurity and is there, that sense of not having security. So when I say insecurity, I mean that. I ain't talking about who is that texting you on your phone. That's way down the road. When I say insecurity, I'm talking about that sense of not having security. That's the totality of that's the context in which I'm speaking. So the way that the knee jerk reaction for that is for her to get a little boyfriend, and the first guy that shows some type of interest in her, 99% of the time, is because she's pretty. It's not because she's become a woman and she showed me that she can be a good mother to my children, and this is where I can plant my seed as a man, and boom, here goes my legacy. It ain't that when you're in adolescence. It's we don't even know how to think that far. It's like, man, she is fine. And next thing you know, you approach the sister, you're like, hey, how you doing, sister? How you need? No, they don't say sister no more. They be saying all kind of crap now, but y'all know what I'm saying. Back in the day, that's how it went. You know what I mean? You get a number, you spit some game, you get a number, and y'all talk on the phone, and with no texting back then, it was just talk sneak on the phone when your mama wasn't on the phone, and you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up. That's how you run your game, and that goes well until it doesn't, and at 99% of the time it does not, because the resources of the tools to succeed in a relationship are just not there. It's just one aspect of it. Is I'm attracted to you, you attracted to me. We ain't got nothing else to offer each other other than rubbing our attraction on each other. That's it. And if you're really good, you be in a relationship throughout high school or whatever, maybe even middle school, a few of them, and then you get out of high school, and then life hits you, and then the man finds out that he's up against this battle against his historical oppressor. He gets frustrated, and his frustration gets let out in all type of ways, and vice versa. So that made women independent. They've been, it might even turned into when she became pregnant early in her life, and just had to be a fighter from jump because she didn't have nothing and nobody. That mean that her mama wasn't there for her. That mean like that, but it's hard, you know what I mean? And your mama might say, "Hey, I'm cooking one pot of spaghetti, and whoever, that's it. We ain't got no more." So when you don't get that much spaghetti, you like, well, shoot, I ain't gonna let that happen again. So you 15 years old, you got a baby on the way. You go out, fill out an application at the Gap or Old Navy, and you're like, I'm gonna get me some money, and I'm gonna buy me some Chipotle. So that's a sense of insecurity. That young woman is not secure. Mind you, this has been going on for since at least she was 15 years old, probably into the present day. 15 to 40, 50, 60 years old. We've repeated this vicious toxic cycle, and it's been hard for us as a people to get out of it. It's been really hard for us to get out of it, and it's an endless game of cat and mouse. The sisters is hard. They tough. They real tough, and historically speaking and genetically speaking, that ain't really what men like. We like us a strong woman that can hold it down, but we don't like the women to be so strong to where she holding us down. If y'all get what I'm saying, men don't really like that. And that's what makes men lose interest a lot of times, and we get to looking in every other direction, and that puts a stress on the current relationship as well. So, um, guys may come and go throughout that time period. From 15 all the way up to 40 years old, they give up about 40. And then it's just like battle, it's a survival of the fittest. Let me grab something that's halfway decent. I got my life over here. He got his life over there. We hook up whenever we hook up, and we do what we need to do. We didn't gave up on getting married and having a house with a car and a gold retriever and a picket fence and a little family and all, and grandkids. That ain't a reality. We all over the place right now. So that done made the sisters a little bit more hard than we really like them to be. Precursor to, you know, flip the script, look on the side of the brothers. Like, men are overly strong. We got to be strong. So when we feel like we give ourselves to a female at a time or another, and it don't go right, and if we don't have the proper, honestly, if we don't have the proper spiritual faculties to understand why it might not have went the way we wanted it to go, vast majority of us do not. We blame her. Oh, she was like this, or she was like that. She ain't do this, and she ain't do that, and this, that, and this, that. We just pick the situation apart, and 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 as a man, we like, nah, I can't invest in nothing like that no more. So we become insecure, or not in a secure place emotionally. So that makes us move different. We women, y'all got a lot more tolerance than we do. We ain't got that much tolerance. Not really sure why. I can think of some reasons, but I mean, off the top of my head, men is basically like, we got a lot going on, and we trying to do a whole lot with a little bit, and we ain't got nothing to lose. And every time we get with a woman, we something wrong? Yeah. Okay. Um, um, we ain't got nothing. We ain't got like we ain't got nothing. We don't have no room to fail. We have no room to fail. I got one, two, maybe three baby mamas. I got kids with them. Well, they're my baby mamas. Obviously, I got kids with them, but I have kids. I gotta, as a man, I gotta juggle that. Historically, and normally, go back to the beginning of the program, like what I said, we're in a position where that's abnormal. So, and it's so deformed. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to get the kids in order. They were screaming. Um, 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 yeah. So our situation is so deformed, and most cultures around the planet, not just in America. America is behind most cultures and peoples, but they get married at a fairly young age, 20s to 30s, and they stick with that person and they live their life. With black folks, that ain't what the reality is. We make kids early because we're all insecure early. Um, hold on once, give me one. Sorry about that. So, our situation is very abnormal, um, in the sense that from a man's point of view, we got to deal with, on average, three different women. We have to. We got kids with them. We got to deal with them two, one to three different women, and everything that they got going on. Who they with now? How's that situation with the kids? And seeing the kids, not seeing the kids, being a provider for the woman that you with, trying to make sure that your baby mamas is cool, you be a man for them. uh, a whole lot going on, and that really puts us hard up. That puts us really, 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 really hard up. So I hope I've painted the picture good enough to convey what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, on both ends of the spectrum, we are like at a wit's end. We are in Mayday. It's Mayday. The situation is not good, which is why we can't afford not to be Muslims as a people. So, um, that is the main reason, as far as I've been able to see in it, why brothers would check out and go and get them a woman overseas. Um, 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 I mean, just just all of that together. Just it's almost like the recipes for a bomb. That's a lot, and you got to really work spiritually to put yourself in a good place to deal with all that stuff on both ends of the spectrum, women and men. And by the time we get it all figured out, and you done took your Kalima Shahada, and you like, okay, I got a glimpse of what Islam is, and this is how I want to live my life. This is how life should be. Um, we got all that baggage, and we got to figure out how to deal with that baggage Islamically and and be effective in doing it. So when you finally meet your good brother or you meet your good sister, we think it's just like the time of the Sahaba. We reading all these hadiths and stuff about how the Sahaba was with their marriages and their families, and we think it's gonna be like that. That ain't how it is, as we know. So uh, uh, all of that has created a frustration. It created a vehement frustration within the men. I know it's a growing movement with the women, like the passport sisters. I don't think we need to talk about it yet. Um, we can discuss that some other time, but it's most definitely a thing with the brothers because honestly, sisters, we feel like, and another thing too, um, there's no easy way to say none of this stuff. Number one, we got to deal with, men. We feel like we got to deal with so much attitude. Uh, Second, we can have. I done 2 or 3 different videos on polygyny, and we get ready, inshallah ta'ala, to have the polygynist expert on the program, Coach Nadir and his 2 wives on, so we can give a more broad perspective about polygyny. But uh, we can argue. You can argue whatever you want to argue on both sides. I know the women against. I know the men for. But one thing you don't have to deal with foreign women, they do not mind polygyny. And I understand the argument for the women here. And they like, oh, he want another wife. He can't even provide for the one that he got. Uh, I don't know. We gotta take that with a grain of salt. It's cool on the surface, but at the end of the day, uh, if it's hard without having a co-wife, and it's gonna be hard with a co-wife, that's the same thing. And that's kind of the situation that's going on overseas. They and I think the minority of those marriages are polygynous, but they got a clear understanding about it, and they we got more money than they do. A lot of our brothers and sisters still live in villages and still living in huts, and I know a brother that had 2 wives over there in Africa and a wife here. So, everybody get married and you just do the best that you can do. If you ain't doing so well financially in one marriage, it's for a man. For a woman, it's about finances. For a man, it's not about finances. It's about temperament and our sex drive. Honestly, um, what we can argue however you want to argue, but inside of a man, we got a sex drive that does not go to sleep. With women, it goes to sleep. With most of them, some women be hollering they can hang, whatever. But for with most men, it doesn't go to sleep. It's just constantly, constantly, constantly going. And I've done a lot of research about it and found out, genetically, we just engineered different. We got, men have chemicals in our bodies that are percolating all day, every day. And honestly, the reason for that is because men have the sole responsibility of populating the earth. If you just think about it from a biological standpoint, women don't have that responsibility. Women participate in that responsibility, but they don't have that as a responsibility on them. There's an example in this field of study. of historically why men have always been polygynous. If you leave, if you have one woman and 10 men, and all those men, if you got a situation where there's nobody else on the planet, and there's just one woman and 10 men, that woman's only going to get pregnant one time. But if you flip it the other way, and there is 10 women and one man, he can get them all pregnant the same day, and they had a baby on the same day. So we got a biological thing going on within us that we're shamed for in this Judeo-Christian society. That's where it really comes from. And it's the insecurities that, like I spoke of in the beginning of this show, that women come in. Good men are very few and far between in the black community. So it's a it's a touchy thing, because black women that felt like they went through hell to get them a good man finally, after don't beat me up for saying this, so many men, what, 5 or 8, I don't know what y'all body counts is, but after them trying to make it work, that's just the life and reality we live in. They finally found them one. They like, man, shoot, man, he might start liking Aisha a little bit better than he like me, and I'm gonna be back to square one. That's really what it all boils down to. So we ain't gonna get too much into polygyny, but that is one of the precursors to African American men wanting to choose a non, I mean, a woman from a sister from overseas. They don't mind polygyny at all, and they are they haven't really dealt with uh, they haven't really they haven't really they've maintained their identity, and whether they have worldly wealth or not, they still have their own country that they belong to, have their own culture, and they own everything that they have, unlike us. So they've maintained their moral character throughout the generations. So there's a lot more respect between the women and the men. There's a lot more respect of the woman to the man, um, which is that's the way that it should be. But I know black women feel like men don't deserve that type of respect or that level of submission due to what they've experienced in their life. Like I said, it's an endless game of cat and mouse. So um those are the main reasons. We feel like we don't have to deal with all of that with and a lot of them sisters that's like overseas, they don't be having no kids. And sometimes men get tired of all this stuff with my kids and your kids and my baby mamas and your baby daddies. And we get frustrated with that, and it's a lot. It's just really a lot. So then the sister might still have some of her jahiliya qualities in her, and the household ain't gonna be as Islamic as we need it to be. I ain't gonna speak about that being true for men as well, because there's really not a thing of passport sisters. That's really not a thing. It's a thing with the brothers. So I'm gonna stay focused on the brothers, and why we're choosing to take women from overseas. Um, um, so those just even like did like that, we don't want to deal with that a lot. We get frustrated with it, and then after trying so many times, we like, at this point I just need some peace in my life, and I just need to live my life as a Muslim, and that's, I mean, I think that's what we need to do. One of my shuyukh, after my first wife shot at me, literally, after my first wife shot at me, I sat down. with my sheikh, my late great sheikh, and he understood this dynamic, and he said, man, at your age, and just go to Somalia. They're good black women. They have strong Islamic culture, and just die as a Muslim, brother. Cut your losses. This is what my sheikh, Hafiz of the Quran, Ijazat, as far as you can see, that's what he advised me. But, and to close up my little presentation and the content that y'all can respond to, we're gonna get right in the comments. Um, I chose not to go that route. That's cool. Kudos to my sisters overseas, but I'm pretty sure y'all done picked up by now that I am an advocate for my community. I want us to be right and exact on both ends, and I feel like Alhamdulillah, I've tried my best to become a good Muslim man, a good black Muslim man, and I want to spend that on a good black Muslim woman. She deserves a good black Muslim man after all that what I just told y'all she done been through. I feel like she deserves that. She's entitled to that. Y'all driving me crazy now, but me as a person, I'm committed to the development of my community and the establishment of us and greatness as a people. And I don't believe in giving up. Honestly, have I wanted to give up on it? Yes, I have. But that won't fix the problem. I would be foreign myself. I would be foreign myself, honestly. Um, and then we have the cultural uh, misunderstandings. Even though I'm black, I'm not from Gambia. I'm not from Somalia. I'm not from Sudan, and they're not from here. I eat certain foods. They eat certain foods. I talk a certain kind of way. I act a certain kind of way according to how I grew up in my community. And in order for me, I honestly believe, and this is in the fifth books as well as y'all know, like that people should stay within their communities and cultures. It doesn't say that you can't, but it says that the people should stay within their communities and cultures because you have cultural differences and clashes, which would just ruin the marriage. Um, I like me a good pan of macaroni and cheese and some fried chicken. Now, African sisters, they can cook. They ain't doggone so cook, but you know, like they say, it's called soul food for a reason. That's the food of my people and the ones that were slaves. That my mama and them is from the South, and so we are direct descendants of slavery. And my granny, before she passed, she taught me about all of the recipes, what was behind this soul food, and she explained to me that the slaves had to take what they had, the little bit out of what they had, and make the best out of it. That's why it's called soul food. Like there's a real spiritual connection in our food. I don't care if y'all say it's not healthy or it ain't not healthy. We're gonna die from something. But I got a real, connection with the food. Just like the old folks say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. We used to be out, our people used to be out in the fields, working, getting beat and picking cotton and thorns on our hands and get bit by dogs and all of that. And we got to go return back home to the shack after that insurmountable amount of labor. We are physically beaten and exhausted to come back. My great granddaddy and them, they when they went back to them shacks to nothing, to no food, no comfort, no nothing. After going through that from sun up to sundown, 12 to 14 hours, and the slave master won't allow us to have no good food. They throw the scraps out, and we got our women got to go and get the scraps for the dogs do, and they get the scraps. Y'all don't know that's where the term hush puppy come from. My granny from Alabama. She taught me about hush puppies. She used to make them all the time. I love hush puppies to this day. And she told us that when slave owners used to throw out the scraps, the only way that they could fight the dogs off was they used to take the fly. They used to steal flour when they were cooking in the house for the slave master. They used to steal flour and seasonings or whatnot and get it back to the shack, and they would fry it up. And when the slave owner used to throw out the scraps or whatever, they used to throw the hush puppies to distract the dogs. They would feed the dogs so that we can get those scraps and we can eat. They also use that as a tactic when the slaves try to escape. That's why they're called hush puppies. I got a connection to my folks. I can't compromise that. When you know those types of things, and my love for my women goes back to that. Goes back to that. I can't give up on our women when that is the history of our love. That is the history of our love. That right there, that picture of slavery, and it's a different picture now. So just me personally, that's why I didn't choose to go that route, and I chose to again remarry from within my community. So I hope I was clear. I know a lot of shots was fired. I had one last point, but I think I done said enough. Um, Let me bring Nyla in. She says she got something to say, and if anybody want to jump on here, y'all let me know. If you watch the totality of the show up to this point, and you are with us in the conversation. Hold on one second. Let me send her the invite. All right. So inshallah, y'all make sure and like, share, subscribe, share this. We are here cooking the science, y'all. We cooking up the science. We cooking up the science. We talking about that stuff that they don't like to talk about. I always try to spin it into an Islamic perspective, but I take pride in talking about that stuff that everybody don't really enjoy talking about. You reading all the stories of the companions and how great they were. That's fine, but we need some stuff. We need a conversation tailored to what we're going through. A lot of that is down the road for us. We still are fighting to get ourselves where we need to be in in this world. Okay, the first comment. Yasmin got the first comment. Yasmin the flower. She said, I can see why they go overseas because those sisters are raised differently. Oh, well, she said that at the beginning of the program. So you was already on par. Assalamu alaikum, sister Najla. Nyla, I sent the thing. I don't know if you got it or not. Assalamu alaikum, Salama. Oh, it did? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm having some technical difficulties for some reason. Lord have mercy. What is going on? And I sent it to you on your own page. Just open up your messenger. You still signed in on my page. I'm signed out. Solomon Mariam said that she all ears. Sound like Lili. Aisa, Abdul Wahid, Aziza. She said no generational wealth. Representing them conversations after dark. Sister Divine. She says systemic oppression to remove the black man from the home. Absolutely. Sister Aziza said they know it down to the origin. I don't know if that was a typo or a word that I just don't know. Sister Lily said they demoralized us. Man, this thing is glitching real bad. Turn the light off. Go, 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 boy. No, go. Yeah, yeah, exactly. When I was telling Sister Aziza was, yeah, like when they say I'm 10% Irish, yeah, I'm 65% Italian. We can't say what percentage we is to anything. I don't know what's going on with Nyla. I don't. Hold up. Why is this? It's telling me to close that whole thing. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me log in. Man, I don't know. Okay. My stuff is bugging real bad. All right, I just sent it to you. Let's talk about it. I'm loving this topic. Alhamdulillah. I hope I put something on there. Okay, Fatu. Sound like Levon, my guy. I can't see who said it, but it says my friend literally just told me she noticed I am a man and a woman, and I have to let my son, my soon to be husband, take charge as a man. Absolutely. I can't see who said that. I'm sorry. I can't give you a shout out. Somebody else said, and if men could be honest and women as well, things could be better. I take that statement with a grain of salt. I think women trick us all the time when they say be honest, and then when we be honest, y'all cuss us all the way from here to the moon. Like the famous scene in Baby Boy. That's some honesty for your Jamil. He said who has met anyone who has met an African American knows the answer to that question. Those foreign countries have a lot more traditional values. A lot of men want traditional women to be housewives. Very few want traditional husbands that want them to be housewives. There's exceptions, but I think that's the bulk of it. African American men want traditional women. African American African Americans usually don't want to behave. I think he meant African American women don't want to behave I don't know what you're trying to say on that part. African American usually don't want to behave traditional man. The solution to this is more two-parent households and traditional upbringing. But that is very true. That's 100% true, Habibi. Nah, write your paragraph. Ox, speak your piece. Inshallah ta'ala, I would love to have you, have you up. You feel me? Do you I want to get to some of these comments. Did you want to respond to the comments, or did you want to respond to stuff that I was saying?
Yeah, I could respond to some of the comments, but I did want to touch on. I did want to say one thing. I had a whole lot to say because boy, you was burning me up. You was burning me all the way up, boy. I was boiling. Okay, but I don't calm down now. So, but
After you
I
was in
do.
timeout.
Man, my heart was like this. I was like, "Where's the? Let me up here. Let me up here." I was so mad. I forgot everything I wanted to say. But one important thing I did want to say was, I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like, a lot of the stuff you were saying, most definitely was true. But I think you left out a very huge piece of why women are how we are. For me, it goes way, way back, right? First off, we women, we don't understand the men. We don't understand what it's like to be a man, right? So we know that a man libido is way higher than a woman's, right? So when we get into these relationships and then we experience something so traumatic as far as like, getting played, getting cheated on, and stuff like that, the black man that he, just cause that's how you are, y'all don't take the time to, to explain that to the woman or none of that. It's just like, oh, this how a man is. You just got to deal with it. Y'all don't understand how traumatic that is for women, and this is the main reason why a lot of women are scorned and hurt.
I hear you.
No, so I just wanted to touch on that because
Oh,
for me it seemed
well, I
it
said
seemed like,
that.
no, I don't remember you saying that. It seemed like you came on here. No, for real, I don't remember none of that. It seemed like you came on here trying to make it
I
seem
said
like,
all of that what
mm-mm,
you said. I think
nah.
your mind blanked out as soon as I said police. Your blind whoop. You just
Nah,
went
nah, it
away.
blanked out way before that. But for me, it seemed like you came on here and just act like black women was just crazy as heck, and that is never the case.
Nah, I ain't say.
Ah,
Well, so let me be clear, because maybe some of the other sisters. I mean, I don't see any other sisters saying that, but no, I was saying that I tried to philosophize as much as I possibly can how y'all became as tough as y'all are, and it's through all the hardship and meeting different guys and them being liars and not being so good and whatnot. I said that. That's just the reality of the situation. So I wasn't like coming on here and saying women do this, women do that, women do this. A lot of podcasts do that, but that's why I took the time to explain how our men and women got in the predicament that they're in today.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I most definitely must have missed that part. Any sisters that's on here, let me know if that just like, went over my hijab, or did y'all feel like that was the case on here too? Because I heard you mention, how women had to, take care of the kids and X, Y, and Z, but you ain't never mentioned nothing about, the ways of the men and their sex drive, being put on the women, and y'all just forced us to understand it.
I
Ah,
did.
oh, okay.
I said when I was explaining how when we pounce on y'all, it ain't nothing. It ain't about nothing other than you look good. I think you look cute, and I was saying how that insecurity was started early because we started playing boyfriend and girlfriend long before we should have. It did the relationships didn't have what they needed to succeed in the first place. So even though it was just that's what part when I was saying we just rubbing our attraction on each other, and at that point in time and at that age, even though that's a reality. I mean that I mean it's not the way it's supposed to be, but that's a reality. So that's still a hit on the insecurity. It was still it hits women harder than it does men. Because
Right, right.
when guys get with a girl and that hold on. Uh, it's more of a blow for the women because the guys they coming just for what they got. They see it, it look good, they wanted something, they got it. Everything else is extra to a man or to a young man or a young guy or whatever. With y'all, you're like, it's my boyfriend. He missed me. With guys, it ain't like that. We
So
at
so
that
let me
age.
let me ask you a question. So with brothers knowing this, knowing that the women, us women, are how we are, due to what men did to us, right? How does that equate going and marry foreign women? How
I think I explained
I
that.
don't understand the connection there at all whatsoever. Like y'all tired of our attitude, y'all tired of X, Y, and Z, but yet y'all forgetting that these things was done to us. We are not naturally bulls.
Well,
Okay.
like I said in the beginning, around the world, men are basically the leaders around the world. So whatever we doing, y'all gonna be subject to. I said that at the very beginning. And then I also clarified how there was no fault on either side. It's just the outcome of historical oppression. So when in Palestine or in Africa, when they show ages of maturity and then interest in the opposite sex, whether they be 14, 15, or 16 years old, they begin the process of finding them a husband or a wife. Here, that plays into the point where the emphasis that I made, saying that things are not the way it's supposed to be for us. So here this goes into what I was saying about us being spiritual or moral savages. We don't grow up with that upbringing. As soon as our hormones get to percolating, we got to put it on something. Men and females and
This is
girls. So it's a result of that. It's not a result of men did this to women and women did that to men. It's a result. It's the outcome of the situation.
no, I mean, and I understand that. I understand it. I get what you're saying, but still, to me, I don't see the connection. And why would you go and choose a foreign woman? I don't know. I
Going
guess
back to
I
something
just
else that
don't
I
understand it.
Going back to something else I said, if some men get frustrated at the last part of my presentation, like I said, for me, I'm an advocate for the community. So I have an extra layer of tolerance that most guys don't have because of my advocacy for the community. A lot of guys don't have that. And they're self-medicating that frustration by womanizing. 'Cause with guys that's womanizing, they're like, hey, I got to have sex but I got to deal with a woman. So they're like, okay, I'm just going to lie and be as elusive to women as I possibly can, trick as many of them out of sex as I possibly can, because that's what I need. I don't want nothing to do with all that other stuff. And on the flip side, other brothers is like they either going to, marry a lot of sisters and really not be, have 3 or 4 wives and really not be present in a relationship. They kind of still being a player with polygyny. And then on the far end spectrum, a lot of brothers just get frustrated and say, I'm done with it all. I'm gonna go overseas.
Okay, so let me ask something else since you said that, right? So y'all get tired of dealing with it, whatever the case may be. Understandable. So you mean to tell me that it's okay, or y'all don't feel any type of way about women going to get a foreign man because the black man don't have money? Cause y'all getting tired of our stuff. The women are tired of the brother stuff too. So it's
Well,
like,
that's why
why do women be shamed for stuff like that? We got to deal with y'all with the drugs, the game banging, all this other stuff. And the thing about the black woman, she be riding. The black woman don't just be like, oh, I'm tired of this, I'm going to get me a foreign man. Just like, I mean, versus the black brother, he be quick to dip,
I spoke on that. I
quick
clearly
to
said,
dip.
yeah, I
Yeah, and
clearly
I ain't talking
said,
to you. I just want the brothers to hear
I
because
know I'm saying as far as why you don't understand it. I clearly told you, and I told everybody, y'all got way more tolerance than we do. I said that clearly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
a turn the light off. It's an ugly situation. It ain't pretty. It's an ugly situation, but it's what it is. And I'm just throwing the facts out there and putting the facts in perspective. I guess we have to do another program as to how we can begin to rectify these things that are ripping the marital fabric in our society apart.
Most definitely,
Um,
most definitely.
Issa Shakir said we can't live out the fact that various systems at play have made have made to where black women have made it to where black women are perceived as the least attractive woman or women in the world. That definitely has to play a role in this passport brothers situation. That's 100% true. That's 100% true. That's the precursor to all of this fad of plastic surgery, making our women feel like what they already have is not enough, and they got to alter it to make it look like I don't know what they trying to make it look like. They look like plastic Barbie dolls to me, and I ain't never been attracted to no Barbie doll. I ain't gonna hold you with that. Somebody else, I can't see who it is, said, I met a few brothers that say they don't want a Muslima because we too extreme and want too much. So they rather date non Muslim women. That's a whole conversation within itself.
Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother video.
Yeah, I mean, we did that video already. We did that video. What was that one? That was really about the dowry. We touched on that and
Oh
having
yeah, we
high
did.
dowries. Um, yeah, I mean, brothers do say that. Brothers do say that, but there are dynamics to all of this stuff. um, Brothers complain about that. Like I was saying earlier, like we look at the Quran and Sunnah and we think like we're normal and we can fit right into that. And a lot of our sisters go down to the masjid and they sit with the Indian sisters and the Arab sisters. I say this all the time. The Indian and the Arab sisters, they pull up in big SUVs and they got a big old ring on their finger, and they might even be friends with the Indian and the Arab sisters, and their husbands own businesses and they're doctors and engineers and they can afford a life like that. And then our women be like, oh, I got that's the way it's supposed to be. I got to have that too. And they leave that false reality of when they hanging with their Indian and Arab friends, and come back to reality and try to force that into a situation where it don't fit. Brothers ain't got none of that. We ain't doctors, engineers, and corner store owners and real estate owners. We're not. We work at the Ford and McDonald's. And non-Muslim women wanting all sorts of things and being with multiple men. Well, about the non-Muslim women, all they hear is Muslim men pay bills. That's all they hear, and they cut all them other guys off. They will, because as far as I know, a lot of the non-Muslim women they in it for some money with a guy anyway, so they can find one person that they got to deal with, and he willing to pay them bills, and they can go from there. That's the competition that Muslim women are up against. That
That's not
forward
competition though.
standard.
That
No, it is. It is. You might not want to recognize it as a competition, but it actually is. Like Muslim men can actually go out and marry a woman that doesn't have all of that going on. They can. So it is competition.
well,
Which
if you say so, but and then at the same time, like we always spoke with non-Muslim women, that's a whole different set of problems. A whole different set of problems.
That's a
Yeah.
different conversation, but it's still competition. Whether that's a smart idea or not is a different conversation. But it's happening. It's happening big time.
Yeah, it's happening, and what's being shown is that the non-Muslim women are not no different or better than the Muslim women. You got a whole set of different problems. You get into it, she gonna be with her other nigga for sure. She gonna be with her other dude for
Mm,
sure.
mm. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's a whole different conversation. Anissa Kareem, she said Muslims in the USA have westernized thinking, indirect brainwashing. TV doesn't help it either. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained our men are being allowed to have four wives. If they don't agree with it, it needs to be made clear before the marriage. It's easier to get along as a family unit than to always cause fitna about multiple wives. That's true. It's easier said than done, though. It's nowhere near that easy. We got to deal with all that baggage prior, which other cultures are don't have. So it's not a problem with the other cultures.
Right. Like
Uh,
they grew
Somebody
up. They
said, I
grew
just
up.
need to know. Oh, go ahead.
Now I was just getting ready to tell Sister Anissa they grew up, learning about polygyny and polygyny, experiencing that. We don't come from that. And when we become Muslim, our westernized ways don't just disappear. That's
No.
the reality of that. It just don't. So, we know men are allowed to have four wives and all this and all that. We know that. But to us that's foreign. That's foreign. That and we should never associate, polygyny with cheating, but the reality is to us it feels like that, and a lot of men, that's another conversation though. A lot of men, and Abdul Kabir always disagree, don't do it right. His saying is, well, what is the correct way to do it? We ain't gonna get on that though.
Somebody say yes, the passport sister is a thing. Barely. Because everything that y'all want, I mean, if you're looking for a good Muslim, you're gonna find you a good Muslim brother overseas or whatever, but you're gonna have to take care of him. And y'all want us to take care of y'all here. That's why it's not a thing, because y'all hooping and hollering about us not being able to afford y'all or being ready for marriage. Them brothers really ain't got no money. So you're gonna get you a half year of the Quran, but it gonna be broke. You're gonna have to fund that investment to that corner store that he won't. That's for sure. uh Taria, I hope I'm saying your name right. Assalamu alaikum, sister Taria. He said, how come brothers don't go to West Africa for sisters? It's like they're also looking for a certain look. Most of the brothers that I know that go overseas for a wife, they either go to the Philippines or West Africa. And as far as I know, those women have such strong Islamic character. And all the brothers that I know that have talked about doing it, seriously considered doing it, and have done it, that's what they say. Um, as far as a certain look, that's really a female thing. Men like anything with 2 feet. That's a female. So, as long as we can get whatever we feel like we looking for from a woman, we'll roll with it. We'll take both. We'll take either. I don't know. Brothers really don't. Men really don't get into um the looks. The pressure of looks comes from women, and it comes from other women, like this whole BBL phase and fad, this eyelash fad, the fake hips, the Botox, all that stuff. It does not come from men. It comes from, now I will say, men hold the responsibility of when all of the BBLs came to, when it first was created. That just that just played on the weaknesses of men. It was like, whoa, that happened. I gotta try that out. And then it was just like a whole influx of men chasing after that because they just wanted to try it. I heard a brother on a podcast say something so slick today. He said those BBLs and the fake breasts is like a rental car to a man. And this dude wasn't Muslim. He said that's like a rental car to a man. He said, don't no brother, no dude imagine himself having children with them type of women and showing up to the parent teacher faculty meetings with the woman that has a BBL. This was a non-Muslim dude that said that. He was like a young dude, he was like in the crowd type guy. If y'all get what I'm trying to say, that's men. We don't get into that. I mean, it was. I don't think this has reached the Islamic community yet. I don't think some Muslim women are doing that because they feel like Muslim men. I don't know many. I mean, guys will see, these women with all that work and be like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? That's just a knee jerk reaction. But I don't think I don't think no rightly guided Muslim or no brother that's actually making an effort out here. He ain't going after that. Number one, men are very possessive, and then when you become a Muslim man, you become even more possessive because this is your whole investment. Because we got to take care of y'all. If you're a striving Muslim man, we got to take care of y'all. Ain't no way I'm gonna be slaving every day on my 9 to 5 and come home and I'm taking care of this woman and she want to walk outside with a whole gold dust wrestling suit on, and with all my stuff popping out, attracting more attention and more trouble and more competition for me. To us, we most of the rightly guided Muslim brothers, we understand that science. You for the highest bidder, literally. And a lot of women that's in relationships that's getting them BBLs and all that, they didn't put they man up against competition around the whole wide world. She's telling him, you better continue to be the highest bidder because it ain't no other science to that. You and a lot of women are already shaped nice. You want to go make it more big, and then you want to show the entire world. If that's the way that people living and they all about coins and they all about a bag, but one of these days in one of them rap shows, Moneybag Yo gonna call you backstage, and I got a friend, a close friend, where this happened to that person, and they have a baby with one of the greatest rappers of all time, and that was literally what happened. And she's a good girl and in relationships and all that now, but when she was treating herself like that, and she everything was about her coins and everything was about her bag. And she's like, hey, if I get with this rapper, she's a close friend of mine. I don't want to say which rapper, but a very popular rapper, one of the greatest of all time. He had a baby with her. I mean, it was a one night stand situation. I don't know if he was with her some other times after that, but he was never with her like that. She got stuck with the baby and all of that. If the man would truly show affection, some type of emotion, communication, the women would give back definitely. If she feels loved, she's gonna give it back. That's true. That's true to it. That's true to a degree. But sometimes women be so damaged that they don't be available to be loved. And I hear a lot of brothers talk about that. No, my family is not poly. I do not have another wife. I can't see who said thank you, but thank you too. Sister Muhammad Sophia Kadira. She says, sis, says, my husband says we got the temperament. No difference from an American lady and an African lady. Okay, so I'm assuming her husband is not uh, African American. Uh,
Maybe she
Sophia? Huh?
is she?
Uh, no, I think Sophia. I follow her pretty closely. I think Sophia is African American.
Hmm.
I don't think
I
she's.
can't see the picture because I'm on the phone, so everything's
You
so
friend, y'all
small.
friends.
Yeah, yeah,
Sophia
yeah,
Muhammad.
yeah. Yep, I know. I recognize her.
I don't think. I don't think she's African. Ismail Ali from YouTube. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dude, Gog and Magog. What up? Man, he been going hard. He been going hard on the Wahhabis on the YouTube. They've been. That's what I was telling you about. When they was blowing the comments up.
Yeah.
You've been going hard, man. It's too many comments. I'm just gonna turn all those comments into content. But I appreciate you, taking the time to go hard on the Salafia. on YouTube from the YouTube world. Alhamdulillah. Sister Aziza, she said, another thing, we weren't raised to be wives. True. We were just taught to how to survive. True. We touched on that. Broken homes, no examples, etc. Women in overseas were raised and taught how to be soft and submissive. Absolutely, absolutely.
Most
And
definitely.
it was safe for, and to give benefit of the doubt to our women, it was safe. They were secure. Those women are for the most part not insecure. They are not without security. They have their uncles, they have their father, they have their brothers. You got to, as a Muslim man, you got to go through literally all of them before you get to one of their women. And ain't nobody coming and kidnapping them and raping them, or pulling up on them like, "Hey, sister, salam alaikum. I'm gonna take you for a date tonight." That ain't happening over there. So they're secure. They don't have, because of that, they haven't, been with multiple men and the situation not work out for whatever reason. It didn't work out. um like I said before, we blame y'all, y'all blame us. At the end of the day, it didn't work out, so I leave with some insecurity, you leave with some insecurity. Now you like, when moving forward, I know what to watch out for with dealing with men. And when and vice versa, we say, I know what to watch out for with dealing with women. That's insecurities. They don't they haven't had any of that, which is kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair. It's leaving our women, unaccounted for. We as men have to figure out how to fix this situation. Sister Yasmin said, brothers are going overseas to get away from Western culture, not to mention hood culture. I'm not going overseas, but I want to get away from it too. I'm just going to stay single. That works for me. Yeah.
And that's understandable. My thing is like, they going overseas to get away from it or whatever the case may be, but it's like y'all come from it too. Like the men come from it too.
What, come from what, like the hood and all that?
The Western culture.
Yeah, that's what she said at the beginning. She men are doing that to get away from Western culture. Jasmina said, my cousin got a Chinese girl. He now pay child support and alimony. She didn't even watch the baby. Well, well, that's another. We've been working on that program, love scamming. We working on that, uh, because a lot of the sisters overseas and brothers overseas be love scamming. Yes, it be some brothers, in the hood, in the neighborhood, that's love scamming too. But a lot of them, a lot of the foreign brothers and sisters, they most definitely be love scamming to try to get over here and get their nice American life established. We working on that program. That one gonna be coming soon, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Our beloved Lily, she said, I just feel like brothers may go overseas, no different than they go outside their race in America. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. That's absolutely the same thing. Everybody that's saying thank you for the content. I thank y'all as well for being here and participating. Sister Aziza was cheering you on. See, the women stick together with anything.
As we should.
She was rocking with you.
I mean, cause I mean, I can't allow you to come up here and be doing that though.
Sister Jasmina said, "Nobody makes y'all mean. It's a choice." I don't know. If is she referring to black women? Because I only said that black men make uh, black women mean because of the lack of us, the lack of us being able to take care of the women appropriately.
Yeah, and I mean, just speaking realistically, like we know that we we shouldn't allow this stuff to, shape us and mold us to, being mean and stuff. But the reality is, when somebody hurts you and they keep hurting you, and then you have all these bad experiences, like, what's gonna come out of that? Nothing good ain't gonna come out of that. Ain't no good attitude gonna come out of that. So we can't just act like, oh, all these men done hurt us, and we just gonna be nice human beings. No, let's be real honest.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I can't see who said this. A lot of women overseas are single and have kids because divorced women in most countries, or most of those countries, are a taboo. That is true. That is true. That's a whole different situation. That is absolutely true. Somebody said, I personally couldn't go outside my skin color. That's why I snagged me one in prison. He made a mistake, but I'm willing to accept his mistake and move forward because putting time on the phone is stressful. But the knowledge he gives me is priceless. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
I came out of
See,
prison. So
black women, they'll ride till the wheels come off.
I said y'all got more tolerance than us.
But the
But she
black
got
women,
she don't got her passport, brother. She got her a prison, brother. So
uh,
she went outside the norm too. So
she ain't went
a
out.
lot
She
of
ain't went out.
sisters are doing that.
She ain't went outside of nothing. She
a
stayed where
lot of
she should have.
sisters is doing that too. I gotta say it was tough when I came home because I was fresh meat. I had not been beat up by all these women and drugs and alcohol and mass baby mamas and a reputation for all these girls. It was that's a thing. So y'all not going to get passport brothers. Y'all going to the prison system. Y'all getting the brothers in prison before they come home. That is a thing. We might need to get into that.
Long as they brothers.
And somebody said, then why don't the brothers stick up for the sisters since we have a lot more patience and tolerance? See, I told you I mentioned that. She even picked up on it. Or this person. I think that's a girl. They're speaking as if they're a girl. Yeah, we should. We absolutely should. That's where the brothers, that's what men have to get better. That's absolutely positively where we got to get better. Sister Divine said, yes, I think he gave reasons why women have been made to be stronger and defensive because of the things we had to endure from our childhood and relationship.
Okay, cool. Because at one point my mind went blank.
I told
It
you,
really did, and it
as
was
soon as
way
I fix
before.
my lips and say, "Police, you, boom, you
No, I don't.
beat me
No,
up, Scotty."
no. It was way before that. I mean, the polygyny stuff, that, yeah, too. But it was before that.
Sister Aliza said, being mean isn't a choice. It's often a reaction to some sort of experience and maybe trauma one may have suffered. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, I think I got through most of the comments. So a comment from YouTube, Brother Ismail Ali. He said, I think black men having multiple partners exist in our culture, just not formally, i.e., through marriage. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, they always had multiple problems, but the woman didn't know about it.
You said problems. No, he said partners.
Oh, yeah.
No, you was right. You was right. Multiple problems. You was so
Yeah.
right. You said it.
Pro-
Y'all screen record that. Women are the problem. Y'all screen record it. That is the evidence. I finally won a
I meant
debate.
to
All these
say
debates I've been having, and I finally got my first one. Y'all screen record
whatever.
that.
I meant to say multiple
No,
partners.
no, man,
For
no,
real,
man.
I meant to say multiple
Yo, you
partners,
was right.
y'all.
You was right. Multiple problems. You was
Whatever.
right.
Whatever.
Why we have these conversations so that we get
Nah.
an understanding.
Yeah, y'all done had multiple partners, all right. But guess
Look at
what?
Allah.
The
Won't
woman
He
ain't know
do
about it. The
it?
woman ain't know about it.
Sister son of my mother Yam said, "Brother, come on. I heard men saying they embrace Islam because they want to marry a foreign sister. They want beautiful babies and feel they gain more respect from their families. Sad, and yes, but it's a reality.
That's disgusting to say that you want beautiful babies. Like
As if our
African
babies here
American
in our
babies are not
community aren't
beautiful.
beautiful."
That yeah. You know
Okay.
what? He a type of man that deserve to go overseas because us black women don't want you. With that type of talk, we don't even want you. You go head on.
Y'all see that strength and that toughness I was telling you
Yeah, yeah.
about?
You go head on. Yeah, that's close to saying you don't need like black women. You don't need like yourself.
Yeah, you're like your mammy.
Nah, that ain't cool right there.
So the sister cleared it up. She is African American. Our presumption was correct.
Okay,
Her husband is Senegalese.
okay. Alhamdulillah,
So,
alhamdulillah.
Sister Sophia, we might have to have you on here and tell us about your experience.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And if you shy, you can just keep your camera off.
She ain't shy. She be posting all the time. I be
Well,
following
it's
her
different.
post. She be speaking. She speaks. She ain't shy.
Oh, she be going live.
I ain't never seen her go live, but she be posting like
Oh, that's
stuff
different.
like we talk about. She be. That's why I started following her because she be right on key with same stuff we be talking about
Yeah, that's different though. Posting and saying what you
and
thinking versus
speaking.
actually being on camera.
That's true. And Jamil said, "Don't make it easy for us sisters. Improve men. Men have to improve. Period. Right." Okay, so Sister Sophia, she said, "Yes, they do. I was in court with the brother and his Arab wife. She took him for everything. Women are women, no matter where they come from. That's what my husband meant by we all have the same temperament." Oh, I probably agree with your husband. Just as Jesus said, exactly, we are human. We know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but the reality is we are humans and have feelings and emotions. Yes, we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy from it, but our actions aren't a choice. Yeah, a lot of times it's not a choice. It's just we try to make the best out of what we can in a situation. What you got going on, Robert J. Campbell?
What do you say? What that say? My text so small.
He said poly passport hashtag poly passport brothers 2024. He
You
might
know,
have to
you
come
know, you
explain
know.
himself. Brother, you go.
I don't know. You went offline. You got to go back out, come back in. Well, you already out, but you got to come back in. Yeah, I don't see you no more. One moment, y'all. It done kicked the dude out. That cause he talking out the side of his neck. Him and Rob.
What just happened? That they just shadow
You
banned me or
talking out
something.
the side of your neck. That's why.
I just said what the brother said.
Yeah, and
It
you
just
sure
kicked me
is
out.
hype
I don't know
about
what
it.
happened. Huh?
I said, yeah, and you sure is hype about it. That's why you got kicked off.
Okay. So Sister Sophia said she game. She said anytime. She said let's get it.
Oh, okay. Inshallah.
All right, we're gonna set that up. I'm gonna have my wife reach out to you, Sister Sophia, and we're gonna get it together. I think I went through all the comments on that page. Let me make sure I ain't missing none on this page. Okay, I think I got everything. Yeah, I did.
You
All
got
right,
the
y'all.
ones from your page?
Yeah. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Inshallah ta'ala. We'll be back Monday with the refutation of the Salafiyya with proof. The Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah viewpoint of Islam, not the the Salafi sect. Wednesday, we're starting a new book called The Creed of Imam Bey Haqi. Famous hadith scholar, very, very famous hadith scholar. He is a pillar in hadith science, and Uh, he was Ash'ari, so uh, he is a major proof for the Ash'ari Aqidah because he was a big hadith scholar. Most of the hadith scholars were Ash'ari or of the Ash'ari belief or Maturidi Aqidah. You'd be hard pressed to find anything other than that. So, which we'll get into all of that. So, we starting that Wednesday. So, a new Islamic creed or Islamic belief series is going to be a little bit more in depth, and it's a little different than the Aqidatul Sunnah that which we just finished the week before last. I was a little busy this Wednesday, a little wore out, so I decided to push it back, give myself a break, give everybody else a break. Same difference with Friday Night Filth. We'll be back with Friday Night Filth. I announced the time, and we are in the Book of Menses, female menstruation, the fiqh of female menstruation. We'll be back with that Friday, inshallah ta'ala. Also, be on lookout for the Power for our new All Sisters podcast. So y'all tune in for that. Get with Sister Nyla, send her some topics that y'all want to talk about. If y'all want to come on there and present a conversation, we really want to try to enlighten the world as to the perspective from the female African American Muslim women. But we want to try to provide a perspective, from that angle. So y'all make sure and be on the lookout. We're gonna have to announce when their next program is. They still juggling they schedule. They launched it yesterday, and it did pretty well. I appreciate for y'all coming out. I think that the last time I checked, it was like 700 views already. Alhamdulillah. So y'all stay in tune for that. As y'all know, they got the sisters only group, Our Souls Desire Islam, and they're reading various books. They're reading the Four Imams right now, and I think they're reading the Purification of the Heart, a book of Tasawwuf, and they're still having um, clubhouse talks. They have women's talks on Clubhouse. So just go to, if you're a woman, go to the Our Souls Desire Islam page, and they'll put y'all in on everything. I love y'all all for the sake of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولا إله إلا الله. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. I will see y'all Monday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.